Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host Kirk Day, along with my co-host Nick Miller. And in this video, we're going to go over the final Game 7 of Round 1 that was between the Devils and the Rangers. We're going to go also over a little preview of Round 2 of the NHL playoffs, just because we only had one game last night. Get a little preview into this video as well, see what we have, because we got two of the games starting for Round 2 tonight, and the series are looking very good and very, very exciting. So before we get into this video, if you want to make sure to subscribe and see all the content we're going to have, you should do it, because I'm just going to say right now, it's going to be very exciting what we have coming soon. We're going to be doing analysis of why teams got eliminated, the reasons it could happen, and what probably they will do in the future going into next season. A lot of stuff people might want to see, so it's going to be very, very exciting. So I hope if you want to see it, hope you subscribe, because it's going to be very fun. So, without any further ado, we're going to go into the final game of the Round 1, which was between the Devils and the Rangers, sorry. In this game, the Devils went 4-1 in Game 7, and they take the series in 7. The Devils come back from 2-0 in the series, and when they kind of looked out of it, they looked down, I gotta say, against a sick Rangers team as well, and they come back and win this one in 7. It's a crazy series, I gotta say. It was probably one of the best series in Round 1. What I like about the Devils the most in this series was the lineup change they made with their goaltending. Akira Schmid was by far the best lineup change they made in this series, because without him, they would not have gotten where they were. They would not be advancing to Round 2 to play the Carolina Hurricanes. So that was just by far the best move they've made this series, I gotta say. And he is looking very, very good from what I've seen. The little I've seen from him in the playoffs and in the regular season, he looks absolutely fantastic. And I'm excited to see how far he can push the Devils in this playoffs. What do you think, Nick?
God, I wish the Rangers would stop making me look bad. My God, my bracket was already bad enough, and the Rangers lost. I thought it was like, oh God, I might get this series right. No, they just didn't show up to play. Without talking too much about the Rangers, one more thing about them is they call Alexi Lafreniere Mr. 007. 0 goals, 0 assists in 7 games. So don't know what's going on there. We're officially in bust territory now, in my opinion. He's 21 years old. He hasn't done anything. Anyway, moving on to the Devils. Full credit to the Devils. They played an amazing game. They shut down the Rangers. The Rangers didn't look like they were in it at any point in this game, especially after the first goal. The Devils they have more experience than I gave them credit for. I forgot they had Andre Palat. Thomas Tatar's been around forever. Andre Palat's like a proven winner. He was a proven clutch player even last year with Tampa still, right? So he made the play for that first goal with Mikey McLeod. Wicked goal. I mean, that the highlight of the game for the Rangers was probably the Trouba hit. So whether you think that's clean or not, I mean, you guys can let us know in the comments if you think it's clean or not. It was ruled clean by the NHL because it was unavoidable, as I think that's my opinion too, because he was skating head down face first into Trouba. He could have avoided it, but at that point Trouba probably couldn't have. But yeah, congrats to the Devils, and I'm excited for the second round series.
Yeah, and I think the Rangers video that we're going to be doing, a little breakdown of what could happen in the offseason, will be a very interesting one, because we know they're there, but they also lost a lot this season of what they've got at the trade deadline. A lot of UFAs coming out of it, so we're going to see eventually now, soon when the playoffs are over, who they're going to be re-signing, who's going to be hitting free agency and stuff. It's going to be very exciting. So now we're just going to go to the preview of the second round, as it starts tonight between two games between the Toronto Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers, and the Dallas Stars and Seattle Kraken. So, with the Round 2 preview, we're just going to hit the first game, like I said, which was the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Florida Panthers. And as you can see here, this is just kind of their playoff team stats for the series. But we're just going to give our basic ideas, really, on it. And in this one, I'm going to say the Leafs are going to take it. I do believe the Leafs are going to take it. Florida did play excellent against Boston, and they shut down the best regular season team of all time. But we were saying this before between ourselves. I'm not sure if we said it in a video. I cannot remember. But we think if the Toronto Maple Leafs made it past Tampa, I think they could go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Because, Tampa is a team that will not go out easy. They proved they would not go out easy, pushing this to a Game 6 against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who got much better than last year. But the Leafs look good. I gotta say, I think now that they got that monkey off their back, that they are willing, or they're willing, because obviously they were willing every other year, but they're capable of going a lot farther than people think they will now, that in the previous years especially. Making it past the first round, they look good against a Florida team that is, even though they beat the Boston Bruins, I wouldn't say they're as good as the Boston Bruins by any means. Player-wise, on paper, no. But they beat them, yes. I think it would have been a much different series if they played Boston in this round, but I'm going to take the Toronto Maple Leafs this one. What do you have on this one, Nick?
Yeah, I had Boston and Toronto in my second round in the playoff bracket, but I don't know. I thought Boston would win that, but now that Toronto gets Florida, This is by no means saying it's an easy series for Toronto because it's not going to be. I've got Leafs in six. I've got Leafs in six in this one. I could see a world where Florida wins because they did beat Boston. Like they got a very hardworking team. But yeah, like we said before, once you got the monkey off your back and you're playing to your full potential, you believe. They officially believe now they're out of the first round. I think this Leafs team is gonna be really dangerous.
Yeah, and I mean, you got Florida too with Matthew Tkachuk, like of what he said. He was like, everybody in that locker room believed they could do it. The Florida Panthers look good. They look very, very good. So it would not surprise me by any means if they also won that. I'm very excited to watch it now. Now that the Wild are out, I'm just a fan. I don't really care who wins. I just want to see some good series. So, okay, yeah, with pretty much with that, I don't really care at this point. As long as it's like entertaining, it's all that matters to me. But with the second series that we have here, like I said tonight, is the Seattle Kraken versus the Dallas Stars. These two games were the ones that are happening tonight. But in this one, Seattle also, another situation kind of like a Boston and a Florida Panthers. Seattle beat the defending Stanley Cup champions in the Colorado Avalanche, and they looked good. They looked very, very good. They wanted it. You could tell they wanted it in their play. But the Dallas Stars, I think, will just be too much in the end up in the series. As you know, I'm a Minnesota Wild fan, so watching them play in those 6 games, they looked incredible. They were absolutely insane. Like, you could see they're a 37.5 power play percentage. Seattle cannot afford to take any penalties. They really cannot in this point. Like, they have a good penalty kill percentage, 88.9, but now you have to assume that Joe Pavelski will be coming back for the Dallas Stars in this series as well, and we know how good he is in front of net and on the power play especially. So I think it'll probably go to 6 or 7 in this one. I could also probably see 5, but not as much as a 6 or 7. I think the Dallas Stars will take this one, similar to last series, you know. They're just too good. They look too good. Jake Ottinger is absolutely standing on his head. Rupe Henson's looking fantastic. Tyler Seguin's a power play god in this playoffs. You know, I think there's going to overwhelm the Seattle Kraken on this one, but it's going to be a good series regardless, whatever happens.
This might sound weird, but I've got as much as Seattle played good in the first round, there's a difference between playing Alexander Georgiev and playing Jake Ottinger. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and take Dallas in 5 in this series. I've got them beating them in 5, just due to the fact that Dallas looked amazing in the first round. They dominated that Minnesota Wild team. Seattle did look good, but there was something with Colorado that didn't look like they had that drive. But Dallas has that drive. We watched it firsthand. Like, they've got players that will do whatever they can to win. Now, yes, Colorado knew what it took to win, but it just didn't look like they wanted it. This Dallas team wants it. The Seattle team wants it. In the end, I just think Jake Ottinger is miles better than Philip Grubauer. I know Philip Grubauer can prove me wrong. If he proves me wrong again, I'll stop talking about it. But I just don't know how long Philip Grubauer can keep this up for, especially against this Dallas team.
Yeah, you got to think with Grubauer is also playing your former team. You know, you want to beat them, that kind of situation. But like you said, I think that Dallas is just too good, and I think that they could. We'll see you now here in a little bit what my prediction for the Western Conference Finals will be. But I do think they make it there versus a specific team that I'll let you know in a few minutes. But the third game of the series, we have here is the New Jersey Devils versus the Carolina Hurricanes. New Jersey, fresh off the Game 7 win yesterday, they got a 1-day break, and then they'll play tomorrow versus the Carolina Hurricanes. I gotta say, I think the Devils win this one. We've been saying all first round that whatever team comes out of this series between New Jersey and the New York Rangers will go on to beat Carolina. I think not solely, but a major factor will be of Carolina's injuries. You know, they are very, very hurt, and also their goaltending. Their goaltending's not bad between Freddie Anderson and Antti Ranta, but you know, Akira Schmid just looks really, really good against an absolutely stacked Rangers team. May not be playing up to their best potential, but they looked fantastic. And you also got to notice one thing on that looks pretty odd is the penalty kill percentage for Carolina Hurricanes is 94.4%. Now, that was against the New York Islanders, who I wouldn't say the most offensive team of the bunch, but you got to take that into a factor that is a very, very good penalty kill regardless of who it's against. You're an NHL team. You know, there's incredible players on that team, let alone a 94.4 penalty kill percentage. That's fantastic. So we'll see this series. I do think the Devils will probably take this one, but you never know as well because the Hurricanes have had a longer rest. The Devils are going to be on like basically continuing this series. There was only a 1 day break. It's like they haven't even won the series. It's going on. They could potentially play 14 games in 28 days. Like, that's ridiculous in the NHL playoffs. So we'll see with this one. I think I might take the Devils. I'm not really sure about a game. If I do think it's the Devils, it might go a bit longer now that their exhaustion will probably be catching up to them soon. But that's what I got in that one. I think I had the Devils in like the later 5, 6, 7 range again.
Yeah, if everybody was healthy on Carolina, I'd take Carolina there. Because I mean, how can you ask anybody that's in the lineup now, that's coming into the bottom of the lineup, be a Max Pacioretty or an Andrei Svechnikov or Teuvo Teravainen? I don't know when he's coming back. That's just, I mean, that's just brutal to lose those players. I do have Devils in 6. Like I said, I would take Carolina if they were healthy, but I've got Devils in 6. I think the rest thing. I think it can get to you after a while. Like you're resting too much. You're not keeping up that intensity. You can't. Nothing can simulate an NHL game. Not even practice. If you do a scrimmage of practice, that can't keep up the intensity of an NHL playoff game. I think the team that plays more, yeah, they might be a little bit tired, but I think they have the advantage in game, just being like they're ready. They're ready for it. So I'm gonna take the Devils in 6 here.
Yeah, it's not a bad choice. It also would not surprise me the Carolina Hurricanes in this series. Whatever happens, it's going to be a very good one because Carolina now has the opportunity to go full offense instead of try to hold back, because the Islanders play a kind of a counter rush style play, so they didn't want to get caught. But now that's not really the way the Devils play. So we'll see a brand new Carolina Hurricanes team almost in this round 2 series between the Devils. And with our final series of the second round, we have the Edmonton Oilers versus the Vegas Golden Knights. And now I do believe in this one, the Edmonton Oilers will be coming out to play the Dallas Stars in the conference finals. Edmonton, they look good. They had a few struggles against the LA Kings, but other than that, McDavid, when he broke out. He had 2 goals in a power play, I remember, in 30 seconds or under 2 minutes or something like that along the lines. But he looked good, and against a Vegas team who are also very good, still two very heavily offensive teams. Deep as well. Pretty even stats along there, other than Edmonton's power play is much better than the Vegas Golden Knights at a 56.3 to 18.8 percentage. But I gotta say, this is gonna be a close series in my mind. I don't really see this going a 4-0 a sweep, a 4-1. I think this. I mean, all series in the second round. I think this probably goes to 7. I don't think this even goes 5, maybe 6. I think 7. Edmonton's goaltending, has had a few difficulties depending on who's playing Stuart Skinner or Jack Campbell, but I do think that they are able to hold it down if they can. They would have to probably put a lot of offensive pressure on the Golden Knights to be able to suppress the Golden Knights offense, but I think that the Edmonton Oilers will ultimately come out of this series. It's going to be very tough, but I think that's what will happen.
I think in the first round, Edmonton was forced to play a game that wasn't theirs with LA. They played a game that was, I don't know, LA was just different. They had this style that they knew they could give the Oilers trouble with. Vegas doesn't play that style. Vegas plays their own game. And this might sound like a little too short of a series, but I'm taking Oilers in 5 games. I really think that Edmonton is just going to dominate this series. They've got an opportunity to play their full offensive potential with guys like McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, Hyman, and all that. I'm not saying Vegas doesn't have that offensive power, but they don't got guys like that. They got Jack Eichel, which is, I mean, he's pretty good. He's probably the closest thing they can get to that, but I'm going to go ahead and say Oilers in 5.
Yeah, it's also not a bad decision, I think that the Oilers will take this one. It really depends on how Draisaitl and McDavid get played against. How the Vegas defense works on those guys, because they are the reason that the Oilers are here. I'm not going to say it's solely that, but they are a major factor. So we'll see what happens. I expect some very, very good games out of this series, out of all the series, as a matter of fact. Every series, I think, will be pretty close. But like I said, tonight we have the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Florida Panthers and the Dallas Stars versus Seattle Kraken starting off round 2 tonight, May 2nd. So it's going to be very, very exciting. We're going to be doing a video of those 2 games tomorrow, and we'll see you then. So I hope you liked the video. If you do, make sure to like it and also subscribe. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we have a lot of stuff coming. It's very, very exciting. So I hope you like it. Thank you for watching.